So I am definitely late to the party, but I picked up the Antigravity A1 drone, and look how tiny this 360 drone is, under 249 grams. I'm gonna be testing this in a whole bunch of different situations. I'm gonna put a professional drone flyer in the mix, me as an intermediate, and I'm actually gonna get my wife to fly this to see what the differences are and obviously what kind of skill level you need when it comes to flying this drone.
I mean, it's got absolutely nothing to do with filming, but it is fun to fly around with the Dragon.
Yeah.
Can you see it in my goggles?
No, that's the thing.
True.
All I can see is your...
You're going to get home and have a look at the screen record and be like, what the hell, he actually was flying around the Dragon.
So right from the start, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, and essentially that is the competitors of the Antigravity A1. Now, the Antigravity A1 is an 8K 30 drone, has full obstacle avoidance, under 250 grams. It's an incredible drone on its own. But DJI users can't fly brand new drones in the US, and there's 330 million US citizens that can't buy any new DJI drones. So this one would be the best choice to go for if you're looking for a 360 drone. But this is a really interesting experience, and my first experience when it comes to having the FPV goggles and sort of using that gyro in the actual controller, which is so fun. And I just want to see who this drone actually is for and what you can get out of it. Now, first of all, we have to talk about how you're actually going to be viewing the image, and that is directly through the goggles. Now, I haven't used any FPV goggles before, so this is a really interesting one for me because I actually get motion sickness. And I know this recently because I filmed a documentary on the water and I was not in a good way. I actually had to be shipped to shore because I could not last on the water. Motion sickness and me just do not mix well. And that was going to be an interesting test for me, wearing these goggles and seeing how it feels. And I have mixed opinions that we have to discuss. But before we discuss that, the way that these goggles work, essentially you put them on and you have a battery pack that you actually wear, and that powers these goggles. Then you actually have these eye correction things where you can pull them in and out depending on the width, and then obviously the diopters as well, which you can dial in depending on your individual eyesight, which obviously is good. And when it comes to the menu settings, it's all directly in here. Then when it comes to controlling the menu system in the goggles, you actually utilize this. So essentially this has the gyro data. You have a little trigger here where you can actually accept it, but you pretty much point the cursor around the actual screen, and then you can select specific features directly utilizing this. So it's a completely different and immersive experience compared to just your regular drone flying. Now, when it comes to the menu settings, we do obviously have to talk about the capabilities of this drone. You can actually do up to 8K 30 frames per second in your standard video, and in the slow motion, you can do 4K up to 100 frames per second. But like any other drone, you do actually have really nice photo modes. You can actually do standard photo, which gives you up to 55 megapixel stills, or you can choose a lower resolution of 14 megapixels. You actually have a countdown timer all the way up to 10 seconds. You've got a HDR mode, you've got burst mode, and you've got auto exposure bracketing. And obviously you can take it out of the auto settings as well into pro settings. So that gives you the control over the shutter speed, the ISO, the exposure compensation, and obviously the white balance. But majority of the time with 360 drones, I just keep it into auto and let it do its thing. You can actually switch the bitrate from standard to high, which obviously just gives you extra quality in that high bitrate. But also that means your file sizes will be a little bit bigger. Now, also do have to mention there is 20 gigabytes of inbuilt storage just in case you do forget your SD card. So if we're to discuss about image quality, well, this drone does up to 8K at 30 frames per second, but when you are cropping in, you're not obviously using the whole 8K resolution because it's 8K 360 degrees. You're getting a 4K export, which is still perfectly fine considering this is a 360 degree drone. You can reframe and resize in post-production and do a whole bunch of these cool movements and motions and transitions. It really looks cool, and you're going to get incredible footage, but it obviously depends on how you fly, what kind of locations you're flying in, and obviously the post-production tricks, transitions, and all those things that you can do in the Antigravity Studio. Now, when it comes to the major features of the drone and how you actually fly it, we have to talk about that because we have free motion, but then we also have FPV mode. Now, they are similar but different at the same time. And like what I was saying earlier when it comes to motion sickness and, seeing how I go, Free motion was the interesting part because you kind of had to turn your body and look in the direction that you actually want to go. Absolutely recommend do this in a field to get used to it because you need some space. And I'm in a cricket field and I've got a ton of space. No one around, no trees, just me and this cricket field. That wasn't too bad. I feel like I'm getting used to it. It's literally my first time flying. Second little, I think I put it up 3 times, did I? It's gonna take a bit to get used to. I have to dive into the settings because I've left it in all automatic settings. So I have no idea what to do there yet. But that's fun. Time to turn it off. But if I do switch to FPV mode, I can quite literally sit there or stand still and use my hand to control the actual drone. And that's zero motion sickness and super fun. For me personally, FPV mode is the way to go. It feels so much better, just more immersive. It depends. If you're the kind of person who wants to, feel moving around like you're actually in a world, then maybe that's the one you go for. So I guess it is personal preference at the end of the day, but for me personally, FPV mode was so fun to use, and especially the control of it as well.
I just feel too uncontrolled. Oh my God, okay. I'm going back into free motion.
What, you prefer free mode?
Yeah. Okay. I have more control with free motion. It's like a video game. I can look, but then I point to see where I'm going. I don't like that other one. I feel this is easier than if I was holding a phone to see.
And see, that is the point that I'm trying to make here. Amber has never flown a drone ever in her life, but she finds free motion feels a little bit easier and better for her to control compared to FPV mode, whereas I'm the opposite. I prefer FPV mode and not free motion. So it really does depend on the person and obviously just your experience and what you actually prefer. And that brings me to the point that it feels like when you're in FPV mode, it's super fun, but it made me want to get gaps. It made me want to try and go for gaps and go really close to objects. And obviously that's safe if you're doing it in a safe space. And I was doing it in a park, there's no one around, and yeah, I crashed it a couple of times. And look, this is my fault. There is 360 obstacle avoidance, and I 100% recommend keep them on. I turned them off because I wanted to fly through things. I wanted to fly close to things and push the limits.
How's the durability? We're good. We're still good. Nothing's broken.
Now, also don't fret, if you do end up crashing it and ruining your lenses, you do actually have a lens replacement kit that you can actually change out the little lenses on each of these cameras. So that is a little bit of assurance that your lenses are going to be okay. And also, if you are in North America, there is a repair center in California that offers reliable return and repair services, so you don't need to worry there. And this is why you probably don't fly with the obstacle avoidance off, unless you're skilled enough. Apparently I'm not skilled enough yet, so but no one's here. It's a free park, it's a rainy day, so no one's here. So I'm just testing the limits a little bit. But it just makes you want to get those gaps, and it is so fun to try these things, and it just looks so much cooler than what you're doing on an actual small screen. I want to hit that gap there. I'm not confident. I don't think I can do it. Maybe I just don't go as fast. Right? But immediately you just want to put your finger down to the throttle. Here we go. Slow. Super slow. Pull up. Oh, that's going to look close, but it won't look cinematic. I tell you that much. Now you might actually notice that my battery is going flat and auto return actually kicks in, and this is a very interesting feature because all my obstacle avoidance is turned off.
Auto return about to start. Press C2 to cancel.
Which one's C2? and I was starting to freak out because it was going to return to home, and I actually took off from underneath a gazebo, and I didn't actually know where the C2 button actually was, and I had the obstacle avoidance turned off, and I thought it was going to crash, but luckily it turns it back on when it's going to land, which is a great safety feature to have.
Obstacle detected. Return to home is blocked. Please control the drone manually.
Oh, that was interesting.
Landing.
Right. So you guys saw that. It saw there were obstacles from where I took off. So it avoids that, which is good. Very good.
So before we talk about this really cool, interesting feature, you can hear my voices being recorded through the anti-gravity goggles, which is pretty cool. And obviously you can screen record on here as well. And what's this? It is a dragon. I am quite literally flying on a dragon. How sick is that? Now, to actually activate this dragon, you just go into virtual cockpit here, and you have a whole bunch of different characters that you can fly on. That is absolutely amazing. And this one is pretty cool because in the instruments here, you can see how much battery you've actually got. And yeah, all these actually work when you fly in terms of your speed, positioning here with your map, the compass, the amount of storage that's on your SD card, and same thing with this Starship, a whole bunch of the information on there. That's so cool to actually fly around on, and you just got to make sure you are actually opening it with the cockpit, or you can just stop it and just exit that cockpit, and it won't be there anymore. But how cool is that? It just makes it so much more fun and immersive.
That's wild.
Yeah, and like even when I look around, like I can see the dragon's wing on that side and that side.
What?
Yeah.
Does it look real or just like 3D?
It's
basic?
decent enough. Like
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun. It's fun enough. It's like a computer game. But yeah, it's definitely cool.
That's weird.
I almost feel like I'd buy this drone just for that feature. Like forget about filming with it. Just go fly around on your dragon.
And that is one thing that's actually excited me about this, is that when you're flying the drone, you're kind of experiencing everything. It's not just an external sort of experience. This is like an immersive experience that you're in there flying the drone itself. And we have to talk about the dragon mode. I only found about this because Ben, the professional drone flyer, found this feature and he's like, dude, have you tried this dragon mode? I'm like, what? Dragon mode? What? Now also when it comes to the goggles itself, you can actually do a little bit of a practice mode. So you can go through the settings and literally practice flying with just these two. You don't even need to fly. So if it is raining one day or just nighttime and you obviously can't fly, then you can just rack up a few hours of practice, especially if you want to start doing some really cool cinematic shots and hitting some gaps, going through objects, close to objects. Well, this is where you're going to be getting those skills, is obviously in that flight simulator. Obviously, nothing's going to compare to the real world, but the more time you get used to actually flying the drone with this, obviously the better you're going to be. And don't forget, when it comes to post-production, this is where majority of the actual magic happens. If you want really good footage, that is where that 8K 30 frames per second 360 footage is going to come in handy, because you can reframe so much and make a whole environment that you've experienced there in person completely different because you've framed it up differently. Now, depending on when or where you get your Antigravity A1 drone, right now there's actually a limited time offer of up to 25% off. And for the first 10 orders, you'll actually get a free accessory. So overall, my experience with the Antigravity A1, it's been fun. It's one of those drones that you just take on holidays because it's fun to fly. Not because you're trying to get beautiful images, even though you still can get beautiful images, but you can kind of just immerse yourself in that location. It's really hard to describe, but because of the FPV goggles and because you can screen record, you can just replay it and see exactly what you saw at the time. It's just one of those drones that you just want, and you just want to take on holidays. So anyway, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will obviously put links in the description below if you do want to check this out. Links will be in the description below for my LUTs as well that I actually used on the footage. But it's a fun drone to actually use. I love this one. It's completely different to what I've used before. You guys saw, it's cool. It's a cool drone, but thanks for watching. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, let's get it.